Hello, all my lovely friends. My name is Christy Archer of Christy Archer Designs, and today I am here with a tutorial on how to block the one skein or one skein plus shawl designs that I have been putting out. And I want you guys to be able to make the most of the shawls that you've been knitting up. So without further ado, I am going to get right into it. Let's re-angle, and this is my fourth time doing this video. I have had disturbances, and I was trying to see, there we go. Okay, so the shawl has been partway blocked several times, so it is already stretched out a little bit. But anyway, let me start first with the blocking mat. I am working with 6 foot wide by 3 foot deep. I find that works fairly well for these. I do have more mats, but I could possibly go 7 foot by 3 foot, or I could do 6 foot by 4 foot as well. But anyway, I find 6 by 3 works well enough. And today I am going to be blocking a crescent shawl design that I have done, and it's called All Buttoned Up. I have made this one out of Knit Picks fingering gloss, and this is my third time making this pattern or knitting up this pattern, and I find that this yarn has by far done the best, and I will tell you why. First of all, it is a solid cohesive color. There are no high, lows, speckles, or variegations or anything. So with that, and the fact that this is a fairly fluffy fingering, you can actually see the buttons on the pattern really well. They actually show up really well. So if you are looking for a yarn that will make this one up very well, I do highly recommend the Knit Picks fingering gloss. Now, if you are unfamiliar with crescent shawls, when you knit them up, they almost look like an inverted triangle. So these shawls have to be blocked very aggressively. That is why it is very important that you do a very loose bind off that I have instructed in the pattern, in all of the patterns, in order to get the best stretch you can, so that you can get the most space or a larger shawl. If you don't do a very loose and stretchy bind off, your shawl will not stretch enough to get the proper crescent shape. So when blocking these, of course, you first have to wet it. This has been wet, and I have gently squeezed it and then rolled it up in a couple of towels and got out the excess, and we are ready to begin. And in order to get the best shape out of this, I find that it works best to start at the center bottom, and you will stretch with your fingers. I'm stretching out the ribbing, and I'm going to put my comb in that stretched out area. Then I'm going to go up to the corners, and I'm going to stretch them out. And I'm going to try to give them, I'm going to imagine my crescent shape and try to angle my comb. Now these may end up being, excuse my fridge, these may end up being re-angled as you work, but then you'll come to the other corner. Sorry you guys get to see me crawling around. My kitchen island is big enough, but my kitchen sink is in the way. So I have to block on the floor. All right, now from there, what I like to do is go back to the center and start creating the crescent shape. I'm gonna bring this almost kind of straight out, and we'll do a couple of combs, and I'm really stretching this and pulling it as I go. And I'll come over here, and that's more on this side. And I'm not having to tug as much now since, like I said, this is my 4th time shooting this video. So if you find yourself pulling even more than it appears that I am here, that is normal. You will absolutely be doing a lot of stretching and shaping with this very, very aggressively. Okay. Then we'll come back up to the top corners and start working them into shape. And then I'll switch over to the other corner. So you'll just keep kind of working back and forth, corners back down to the center. See, I'm going to re-angle that one just a little bit. And I don't know how many actual combs, I haven't added it up. You can do these with blocking pins as well. I just find combs easier, but I do know that I had to have 2 packages of combs. And these are, on the right side here, are my Knit Picks combs. And then these over here, I got off of Amazon. And I find they work okay. They do have a couple of little snags in them, so I'll probably eventually, the tips of them, sometimes they snag the yarn. So I may eventually go back and get another set of the Knit Picks. I find they're a little nicer. You'll just keep working your way back and forth, top to bottom, kind of working in towards themselves. And the more of a crescent shape you can create with these, the better off you are, because it will actually sit so much nicer around your neck when you really get a good curve to this top portion here. And also, you can still use this same concept with my triangular shawls. The only difference is when you start at the bottom, you will start with 2 combs, creating the triangular shape, and then go to the top, and it's the same concept. So this works for the triangular shawls as well. Sorry if you can hear one of my pups snoring. She has real bad allergies right now. Okay, so I've got that side. I've got that stretched out pretty good. And like I said, don't be afraid to go back and readjust any of your pins or combs as you see needed. And if you see that you haven't stretched it out enough, you can always go back and take the combs out and stretch some more. And then I find that these shawls dry very quickly because you can just put them under a fan or put it outside. Get it into shape, make sure everything looks the way you want it to, and just leave it to dry. So that is how I recommend blocking these. Like I said, do not be afraid to be very aggressive. You want to get that final shape. After you've blocked it one time, From there on out, it's very easy. You know, if you need to wash it or whatever, you can. I personally reblock every time I wash something, but you don't necessarily have to. You could just wash it and lay it out to dry because it should hold the shape. So that is how you do the blocking for my patterns. I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box below, and I will leave, sorry, neighbor's doing something. I will leave links to anything that I think might be helpful. And that's it for today. So I will see you guys later.